Oh. All right, welcome to the training. This is day 4 of my training series, and it's all about visibility, sales, and marketing. And today's topic is about what it takes to build a business in 2025. If you don't know me, hi Taryn, I see you're here. If you don't know me, my name's Cami. I am a life and business coach, an intuitive, a breathwork facilitator, Reiki facilitator, an author, and a speaker. And what I do is I help people get over imposter syndrome, perfectionism, and get into energetic alignment to build the business that they want. So if you are here and you have a business in 2025 that you want to make profitable, you want to make successful, you want to make sustainable in 2025, then you will want to stay tuned. Now, what I will tell you is as I was thinking about this, I was driving here on my way to my office and I hit traffic. There was construction on the way here. So it basically added another 10 to 15 minutes to my commute, which is why we're getting started a little bit late. But I was thinking about this. And when we sign up for a business, we think it's going to go one way. We think it's just going to be like, okay, I'm going to go out, I'm going to launch my business, I'm going to make my website, make a business card, start telling people what I offer, and people are just going to buy. It's going to be successful. I'm going to make 6 figures, of course. Everything's going to go easy. And it's very similarly to when we get in a car and we think, oh, I'm just going to get in the car, drive to the office. There's going to be no problems. And then we inevitably hit construction. And so what I did literally on my way to the office was, of course, there's always construction. Like construction is what happens on roads. This is literally what it takes to maintain a road. And then my job as I'm driving is to figure out how I want to think and how I want to feel as I'm sitting in this construction, as I'm sitting in this line of traffic. And I just decided it's not a problem. I just decided, oh, I'm going to get started about 15 minutes late. And I just decided to have this 30-minute drive be completely stress free. I decided to think about this training, to really think about this as an analogy, and to not let myself get out of control or anxious or stressed or get into a state of fight or flight. So, the reason I say this is because 2025 specifically, this year, I'm feeling like it's very reminiscent of 2020 in the facts that there are things going on globally that are causing fear for people and that are impacting some people financially. Not everyone, but some people are impacted by fear and some people are impacted financially. And I remember watching a Tony Robbins training in 2020. I ended up going to his live event in 2021. He pivoted in a massive way in 2020 because if you don't know who he is one of the main original life coaches. And he has these big, huge events with 10,000 people. He also has a show on Netflix. It's called I'm Not Your Guru. He's been doing this for 30 plus years. And he makes most of his revenue from in-person live events. So when 2020 happened, he could have looked at it as a huge issue, right? Like where he wouldn't be able to have his events. What he did instead is he immediately pivoted. He invested millions. I think it was, I don't remember the exact number, but I want to say maybe 3 million in developing a soundstage and developing a studio in deciding I'm going to take my business online in 2020 because people need help now more than ever. And I'm going to pivot. I'm going to invest in a big way. I'm not going to waste time and I'm going to redirect my business immediately. And because he did that, I don't know his numbers. I don't know if he was profitable that year. In fact, he may have taken a loss that year. And when we talk about losses, right, gains and losses, you want to think about the future of the business. So for him, maybe he invested 3 million and maybe they only made 20 million. Maybe they usually make 30 million, but they were short 10 million, right? And he had to invest more than he was planning that year. But in the longevity of his business, in his 5-year business plan, the way you deal with challenges is going to impact your business in the future. So I'm bringing this up here now because I feel like 2025 might be that type of year. Not for everyone, but definitely potentially for certain industries. So as I come on here to train today on how to build a business in 2025, I want to let you know I'm going to be very direct with you. I'm going to give you direct coaching. So if you tend to be a gentle, like loving nurturer who is more soft spoken, who loves to have your hand held, I'm going to give you this hug now and say, I love you so much. And the words that I am going to say, I'm literally saying them for your highest good, literally to snap you out of it, to help you move forward, because this is exactly what my coach did for me last year. So I'll get into the training shortly, but I do think it's important. Anytime somebody's going to give you coaching, advice, strategy, stories, anything about your business, I think it's important to know where they're coming from. So last year, 2024, let me just backtrack. 2023, I had a 6-figure year. I made about 130K. 2024, I tried some new things in my business. I was going for it. I tried some new strategies. I offered some new things. I definitely thought it was going to go differently. I was definitely disappointed with the results and with the revenue that I saw in 2024. And all the while during that, I'm a military spouse. So I was like driving back and forth to visit my husband every month. We lived separately for 3 years. So like everything was kind of coming at me in 2024. And then that I had some personal challenges, some financial challenges. My dog died. I had a panic attack that year. I was having health issues. Like all my dopamine and serotonin in my gut was like all off, digestive issues, having trouble sleeping, like all the things that could happen were happening last year. And I made it a point to work with my business coach again. I've been working with her since 2020, working with her for 5 years. And I said, I need to be in her mastermind. I need to work with her because I knew that I wouldn't like survive the year mentally or physically without having her guidance. So all of this to say, last year in December, after I had gone through that whole year, very disappointed, I had to get really resourceful with finances and investments and being able to keep my business running with the business expenses. And I remember at the end of the year, it was December, I was getting coaching from my coach. And I was just feeling like there's no better way to say it other than I was feeling like trash. Just like trash, like depleted, run down, disappointed. I felt shame. I felt like it's not working. Like I was just beating myself up so bad. And I remember telling her, like, I raised my hand to get coaching. And I remember, like, as I was raising my hand, I was like, I'm feeling very ashamed. I'm probably going to cry. And I, like, told her all my thoughts, told her all my feelings. I, like, told her, just like, it's just not working. And I, like, started crying. And I'm just like, I'm ashamed. And I just can't overcome these things. And in the most gentle, loving, and yet firm way, she basically said, and she didn't say it like this, but, like, this is the moral of the story. She said, the story that you're telling yourself, like this feeling like your circumstances are too much to overcome, right? It's putting you in this state of victim mentality, of powerlessness, of not feeling like you can overcome it. And as long as you continue to tell yourself that story, you will stay here. So we need to get you out of this as quickly as possible. So I remember feeling so vulnerable, so ashamed, so afraid to share that with her. But as soon as I got that coaching, I heard her. I was like, oh my gosh, I am so like telling myself this shitty story about all my circumstances. And this was so hard. And, you know, my health and oh my gosh. And like, just really like, I noticed getting in this negative spiral. So a couple things I did immediately, like I saw what the story was. I sat down and rewrote the story. I sat down and thought about times where my back was up against a wall. Back in 2022, I had a negative bank account. And I thought about what did I do then? How did I overcome that then? How do I want to be? How do I want to tap in? And I tapped into courage and discipline and purpose. And within a few weeks, I started engaging in my business again. I started booking consults. I started offering things. I started having conversations with people. And so today's conversation, I want this to be what that coaching was for me back in December. Because what I have seen with myself, I'm a human. Just because I'm a life coach doesn't make me not human. Now, I do consider myself superhuman because I have so many coaching tools. I have so much support. And because I've signed up to be a life coach, I've signed up to be a teacher. That means I've signed up to get all the lessons, to go first, to figure out the lessons, to teach you, to overcome them, to build a process out of every lesson that I learn. So, but I also know that sometimes I'm like, why me? Poor me. It's so hard, right? Like that's the voice of us when we get really tired, when we get really run down, when we get depleted, when we keep having circumstances and disappointments come over and over and over again. So I want you to consider where you're at in 2025 right now. And what I'm seeing just in the marketplace is a lot of people are afraid. They're afraid of politics. They're afraid of financials. They're afraid of uh like they're afraid of investing, right? So I think that a lot of people are going through this psychologically. You might check in with yourself, right? Like you're like, am I buying eggs or not this month? Do I want to pay this increased price for eggs? So I do think that there is a circumstance, very much like 2020 was a circumstance. Like I think we might be in a circumstance where we're really going to need to double down on why you decided to have a business in the first place. So I have a few things that I'm going to walk you through today in this training, but I'll tell you another story because I just signed up for a mud run. I just did a mud run on Saturday. And if you don't know, I was a health and fitness coach. I used to like train really hard. I'd run 3 miles a day. And there was a time where like I really loved that and I really did it. And then once I transitioned into life coaching, my body started changing, right? Like I turned 40 years old this year and I just realized like it was harder for me to run. So long story short, I stopped running. And this year I decided I want to get back into running. I actually really like it. And I spent a lot of time working on my inflammation and my joints. And now I'm on the right supplements. I'm on the right things to give me energy. So I decided I want to start running again. So I signed up for this mud run. And it was an all-female mud run, like uh, very encouraging. It was people of all shapes and sizes and ages and ethnicities. And you didn't necessarily need to be really fit for this mud run. And the reason I say that is because I did a Spartan race years ago, like in 2015. It was so hard. And that was when I was like fully trained, fully conditioned. So I was excited to do like a mud run that wasn't going to be as hard. But it was interesting as I was watching all of these women like with their cute like pink tutus and their running gear and like their cell phones and their watches and their little friends. And everybody like kind of starts off the start line and they start like running. And number one, what I know about running is you do not want to start off fast. Like you need to pace yourself, right? So I just kind of like jogged slowly. And then the very first obstacle that we get to is literally like this hole of water. And this hole of water is like chest deep. And I watched as everyone who literally signed up for a mud run, it was called Mud Girl. I watched as all of them like looked at that water like, you want me to get in there? You mean like, I'm so cute. Like I'm dressed in my pink tutu. Like what do you mean? Like you want me to get in the water? Like I thought this was gonna be like a mud run, but I thought it was gonna be like a cute mud run, right? Like I thought we were just gonna like take selfies the whole time. And I want you to think about how this is when we get into business. We somehow think it's gonna be cute. It's gonna be trendy. I'm gonna be a girl boss. I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna do headshots. I'm gonna get my social media and my branding and my website, and I'm gonna be so cute. And then people are gonna pay me money just because I decided to be cute. Instead of realizing that actually what it is it's more like a mud run. It is more like, oh shit, what did I just sign up for? And so when you realize that that is what it is, like I was observing everybody and I just decided I'm going to have fun with this. I'm going to do every obstacle. I'm going to work on my jogging, right? So I did intervals. I like jogged for a minute, walked for a minute. I didn't let anybody else's like pace influence me. So if like people were walking, I didn't feel bad for passing them up. I'm like, I'm going to pass by you. Thank you. And then also, like, if people were running, I didn't change my pace because they were running. So I think this is where we need to be on our businesses in 2025. The first thing is you signed up for this. We are not guaranteed to have every year be a good year. We are not guaranteed to have every year we double our revenue. And in my industry, that's what I help my clients do. That's what a lot of my cohorts are doing. That's what a lot of people have been doing in the past 5 years. And I've seen it. People making multiple six figures, people making multiple millions. And also, we are not entitled to that just because we signed up for our LLC, just because we got our business card. So I want you to start thinking of this as I signed up for a journey, a business journey. I'm going to be on this business journey for the next 10 years. And if this is not the way that you're thinking, this is the number one thing we need to solve right now. You need to be thinking long term. This is not just about today. I need to make money today. I need to make money this month. You need to be thinking about your 10-year vision. Where do you want to be in 10 years and why? Why did you first start your business? And tap into this passion. So back to the mud run. As I was doing this mud run, I saw people like visibly upset. They were just like, oh, why did I sign up for this? And they're like hunched over and they're just like walking like, ah. And not to say that there's a problem with that, but my interpretation of this was that they weren't enjoying the journey. Maybe they were. But what I decided to do was like enjoy the effing journey of that mud run. I was like, oh, I'm so grateful. Like the weather is beautiful. It's really nice out here. Like we're in nature. I love running outside. And I chose to make every moment of that. Even when we had to go like deep down into this. Oh, no, we had to go backwards. And I remember as we went backwards and I got out of the mud, all of this mud went literally into the back of my bike shorts. So my bike shorts were tight. So now it just feels like a bunch of poop in the back of my shorts. And I was like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing now. Like I'm running with a bunch of mud in my butt. And it was uncomfortable, but I laughed and I did it anyway. And then at the end of the race, I was able to wash it all out. So this is one of those years that really is going to set apart people who are just doing this for a hobby because they want to look cute, because they want to have a website, because they want to say they're an entrepreneur, hashtag boss babe. And it's going to separate from the people who have a 10-year vision, who have a strong passion, who want to help humanity, who want to be in service, who want to grow, who want to be a new person, who want to enjoy the entire process of who you're becoming in your business. And if you're not enjoying the journey, even the hard times, even the panic attacks, even the scarcity, even when you think you don't know how to make money, you want to enjoy the person that you are becoming. Because if you don't, then what is the point of having the business, right? We don't want to be self-sacrificing. We want to be like, this is why I'm doing it. Here's what I offer. I want to continue to help people. Here's why I want to keep showing up. And I'm going to keep showing up because for me, it expands my consciousness. It expands my skill. It expands my capacity. And then we think about for our clients, I'm offering something valuable for them. Even if they're taking more time to make decisions, even if some people are affected by the economy, there are still people out there that want to buy. There's still people that I can serve. There's still people that I can help. And I'm going to dig in and continue to promote and sell and market. So the next thing, number one, you have to start having fun, right? Like actually fun with the journey. You signed up for this. You didn't sign up for it to be all rainbows, daisies, and sunshine. And I talk to my clients about this because a lot of clients, when you want to become an entrepreneur, you're signing up for freedom. You're like, I just want to have freedom. I just don't want a boss. But freedom from having a boss means you are now your own boss. Freedom from having to clock into a 9 to 5 also means freedom from a paycheck that's consistent. So you cannot be signing up to run a business just so you can have freedom. And then you definitely can't be signing up to have a business and wanting some type of safety from it, some type of consistency from it. Entrepreneurship is inherently risky. This is why only the top 1% does it and does it successfully, because you will be signing up for risk. This means financial risk. This means emotional risk. It also means legal risk. So you have to love your why. You have to love the reason why you have your business. And then the second thing is you also have to love sales and marketing, period. You have to fall in love with sales and marketing. I think it is so interesting because I've been in sales since I've been 19. I understand that you can't just have a product without a person to sell it, without a person to market it. I've done both roles. Marketing is awareness, right? Like, ooh, this is interesting. I'd like to buy it. Marketing is letting people know what you have to offer. And then selling is helping to help them make a decision to buy it today, to click buy now, to get on the consult. And so if you have any thoughts about sales and marketing, You've got to dive all in this year to fall in love with that process. And the reason I think this is important, I was just speaking to somebody about this today. When you think about big corporations, most of us are not thrilled that there are billionaires and corporations running the world. Most of us really don't like that. And we're making an effort to get away from these huge corporations that don't care about our planet, that don't care about people, that don't really care about sustainability, that don't really care about making sure people are eating, giving back, right? There's a lot of corporations that aren't paying taxes. And a lot of us can get stuck in like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I can do about this. This is so frustrating. I just feel, right, like this is not fair. And all these people at the top, they have nefarious agendas. And what we can do about that as small business owners, right? A small business is any business that is under $2 million of revenue. What you can do about that right now is go all in on your sales and your marketing, your messaging, speaking directly to your people. Because I've been saying this since the beginning, since 2020. We create our own economy. So if you're not out there marketing and selling, people are just going to go to where they know to go to. Or they're going to keep spending their money where they keep spending their money versus saying, oh, you know what? I actually would rather, instead of spending my money at Target this year, instead of spending my money at Amazon this year, I would rather invest in a health and fitness coach. I would rather invest in a personal organizer. I would rather invest in a personal chef, right? Like whatever it is that you do, people have the money. They're just putting it to those places on these oftentimes big corporations that are selling and marketing constantly. So you have to remember that is your job to sell and market constantly for them to let them know, hey, I can help you and I have this thing. And for you, because you want to make a living, you want to actually have a sustainable business that pays you, and for the global economy. Because we actually have the power as the people. If we and we saw this with Kellogg's, and I'll just bring this up because I was following this politically and I think it's great. The FDA has banned the red dyes. And the moms were outside of Kellogg's picketing, saying, we're not going to buy your cereal. We do not want this. It is poison. And when they started boycotting and picketing these big corporations, the corporation decided to make changes. But what's better than that? You make your own product, you make your own service, and you go out and sell it. You go out and market it to people. So the only way to do this is for you to get really clear. What is it that I offer? What will it do for them? Why should they invest in this economy and what I have to offer? And this is really simple. When you tap back into your why, right? Like the reason you have your business, the reason you decide to do this for people. When you are in this energetic alignment of your why, and you are just waking up like raring to go, like, let's go. I'm here to help people today. And when you're in that alignment of like, this is so worth doing the work for, these people who are out there that could use my services, they are worth it. It is worth it for me to keep showing up for them again and again. When you do that from an energetic alignment, then your messaging comes through. You start to get really clear. This is what it'll do for you. This helps your audience, your people, your one person who's watching to feel seen and heard and understood. And the strategy of this is very simple. You do it every day. You do it often. You do it as often as needed to get the results, to get the amount of clients that you want to get. And so the mastering of your messaging comes from repetition. It comes from showing up. It comes from your mindset of your business. It comes from your mission. Why do you even doing this in the first place? And then what happens is with that consistency of your clear messaging over and over again, you will call in clients just because of who you're being. People want to support somebody who's being a change in this world. Now, I'm going to say a caveat for an example, because I've seen this with local business, and I want to call this out because I do not think this strategy will work in 2025. I don't think it works anymore. I think maybe it worked 10 years ago, 7 years ago, But you cannot be using quote unquote shop small strategy. You can't just tell people shop small, support small business. People don't want to hear that right now. They're saying you need to be giving me value for the money I'm going to exchange. In this marketplace, you have to get really clear at what you offer because they may be considering their purchases differently. So you can't just say, shop small, come here. You have to give value in the form of an experience or customer service, or you're teaching them a skill or you're giving them a transformation that will stay with them forever, right? We have Taryn on here as a personal organizer. I give you a transformation in your home that you will have forever. I teach you how to declutter. And when you declutter, you don't buy more things. I'm saving you money. I'm teaching you how to not go out and buy more things. I'm teaching you how to detox from the dopamine and the shopping addiction. And the result is you have more time, you have more inner peace, you spend more time with your children. You have a simple life, you have less stress. You're spending less time seeking more, and you're actually feeling content with what you have. And so when you start messaging it that way, people are like, oh my gosh, yes, I actually don't need to be spending $1,000 a year at Target. What I'd rather do is spend $1,000, multiple thousands of dollars on a home organizer that's going to help me once and for all get in charge of my chaos. It's going to help me clean up my home so that I can feel clear, calm, safe, collected, and realize I actually don't need more things. But the only way that messaging is going to come through is if you are so tapped into your why, you're so energetically aligned, and you're realizing that the way that we need to market, so this comes into point 3, which is sustainable marketing. The way that we need to market is with the tools that we have. I teach my clients organic marketing because here's the thing. You don't want to try to figure out Facebook ads or paid advertising or even sponsorships if you don't have a clear message. Because if you're just throwing money around, right, on these sponsorships and you don't have a clear strategy for how you're going to convert clients from that sponsorship, how you're going to have more sales conversations, then that money is not going to be well spent. So when we think about sustainable marketing, you want to think about, where are my clients? Where can I reach them in a way that's really authentic and in a way that's free for me? And the number one free platforms out there right now, number one is in-person networking. All day long, do in-person networking. I'm always going to say that. But number two, we have free social media that allows us to reach millions of people all over the world, people that we would never have a chance to reach or connect with. And so if you have thoughts about social media, we need to solve that. Because you cannot have negative thoughts about social media and negative thoughts about sales and marketing and expect to thrive in 2025 in your business. In fact, you need to double down on selling and marketing from this clean place of knowing why you're doing what you're doing. You got to double down on your why, on why I decided to be an entrepreneur. Why do I want to go through this potentially challenging season? Because not every year is going to be great. Some years are going to be harder than others. And so why you want to be tapped into that. You want to be tapped into your power and your purpose. And then we tap into sustainable marketing. Where can I go over and over again? Social media. That's where you're going to find most of your people for free. And it's not about trying to sell them. It's more about creating conversations, creating value, finding out ways that you can serve them. It's also about being creative. Like, this is the year, and I talk about pivoting, being innovative. Again, when you think of 2020, not every business suffered in 2020. Some of them did, depending on the industry. But even in some of the industries that suffered, the ones that pivoted and became innovative, they went into like doing takeout food. They were doing boxed wines, picking up in the parking lot. They moved quickly. They moved swiftly. They implemented. They didn't second guess themselves. They just went for it. They went all in. They actually ended up being more successful that year. So I don't want you to hear me say, oh, the economy's down, wah, wah, wah. I want you to say that my mindset, my energy, my mission, my intention, my commitment to sales and marketing and my clients, that is the thing that's going to get me through this year. That is the thing that's going to allow me to create more value. That is the thing that's going to keep our economy going. Because what happens with economics, right, is when people get afraid, they hoard their money. And then when we all agree that we're all afraid, then we all stop selling. And if we all stop selling and we all stop exchanging money, that's when the economy suffers. So I'm not even kidding about this. It's going to sound potentially crazy, but I get my hair done. I get my lashes done. I get massages. I feel personally responsible for making money in my business so I can continue to invest in other small businesses. I want to be able to pay my ladies for lashes. I want to be able to pay for my massages. I want to be able to pay for getting my hair done. So I'm always thinking I'm out here to serve with what I can help people with. And I know that my money is going to go back into the economy, into other small businesses. So, of course, all of those things are some luxuries, there's some self care, but I look at it as a higher calling. I look at it as I want to be successful in my business so that when I choose to spend my money, it's not going to Amazon, it's going to local small businesses. So, I want you to think about that. If you're not invested in sales and marketing for your business, not only are you going to suffer not making the money that you want to make, local businesses that you could be supporting with your dollars will also suffer. So I want everybody revved up this year to double down on their sales and marketing efforts, not from a hustly place, not from like, I need to sell more. But I find that when your back is up against a wall, when you need to learn a skill, you will learn it. And so I think years like this are the years where entrepreneurs will come out ahead. The ones that are driven, the ones that are committed, the ones that have a long-term vision, the ones that aren't just doing this as a hobby, but the ones who are like, I want to make an impactful change. I want to leave a legacy. I want to have dozens and hundreds and thousands of clients that are impacted by my presence on this planet. And I first impact them through my marketing, right? They need to know about you first for you to ever be able to impact them, for them to ever work with you. So when you realize that that marketing is an invitation to connect, the sales conversation is an invitation to transform, an invitation to get a result, then the way you think about sales and marketing is completely different. It is a service. It is a service to you. It is a service to your clients. It is a service to the economy. So I wanted to come out this drastically different today because I see a lot of people getting stuck in the circumstances. And I'm saying this because I was there. I was like, wah, wah, so hard. Then I remembered I signed up for this. And what I was doing as I was preparing for these trainings is I went back to 2016, 2015. That's when I launched. That's when I first got fired. I've been fired 3 times, by the way. Um, and so working a regular job is also it's not safe. It's not guaranteed. So what I want to know about myself is that I can always make it happen. I can always create results. But when I was thinking about myself back then, I invested in network marketing in 2015. And I was thinking about how much money have I invested in my business? I haven't added it all together recently, but I would say it's probably about $150,000 in the past 10 years, which really isn't that much, to be honest, because I invested in mentorship, coaching, masterminds, obviously like software and things like that. But I remember when I joined network marketing, I went to every event. If there was an event, if there was a seminar, they were doing personal development, I went to every event. And I remember I put $14,000 on a credit card. The reason I remember that is because later on, I had to make a strategy to pay off that credit card and work out a payment plan. Because I was like, damn, that was $14,000. But I never, ever, ever have regrets about that money spent because of the person I became. Like the reason I've been so successful in business is because 10 years ago, I knew I had a mission. I was like, I'm going to help people. I knew I was smart. I knew I could figure it out. And then I was just willing to invest. I was willing to believe in this dream. I was willing to invest. I was willing to keep going. I was willing to hire mentors to help me. And I know that this will ultimately always be my success. And I always think about the people who give up. I'm like, why do they give up? Like, what is that? And if there's anything I could say to like help them not give up on themselves. And if I could just go back to myself back in December when I was feeling like really low, It's almost like I had lost all my power, like I was just deflated. It's just like circumstances got so hard. I didn't have the energy in my body. I just literally felt out of control of my life. And so I want you to hear this. Most people will stop there and they will say, well, I guess this is just my life. I guess I'm 30 now. I guess I'm 40 now. I guess I'm 50 now. This is just my life. This is just what God has handed me. And that is not my belief. My belief is that God gives you every opportunity and skill and talent and connection to create whatever it is you want to create. We are co-creators with God universe, and we have our own free will. And I think about the hero's journey. Every movie that's your favorite movie that you've ever watched, there's some point in the movie where the hero is reluctant. It's like, I just can't do this. I don't know. I just really don't think I'm smart enough. I'm too young. I'm too old, right? And then there's this moment in time where they get kicked, they get knocked down. It looks like they're going to be taken out. It looks like for sure that whatever, that monster, they're done. And in that moment, you have to dig deep. You've got your free will plus the help of God and angels, but you have to do the halfway. You got to meet God halfway because you have to do the action part. You can have faith all day long, but if you don't do the action associated with the faith, nothing will come from it. And this is why I think we love watching heroes, because there's something in heroes where they dig deep, they get up again, they go again. They muster up the last ounce of strength and somehow they make it through. Somehow they vanquish the giant. So this year, 2025, could be the year that this is your year to become your hero for yourself, for your community, for your business. And I want you to just think about if you can overcome, rise above, create results, be innovative, continue to invest in yourself and your business in this year. Think about anything in the future, how you're always going to be able to overcome it. There will not be a thing that will take you out, that will knock you down, that will have you done. This is how resilience is built. So I've decided to say there's nothing that's gone wrong here in 2025. We have a set of circumstances. We've seen them before. And what do we do whenever we have circumstances? We get creative. We get courageous. We get innovative. We double down on our mission. We double down on our messaging, and we go all in on our sales and marketing, period. You cannot have a business without sales and marketing. That is the first position that every startup will hire. They'll make their product, they'll make their service, and then they will hire a commission-based salesperson to go out and sell it. They will hire a marketing team to go out and market it. So this is not unusual. You've signed up for a business, which means you've signed up to be the number one salesperson and the number one marketer. You're also the deliverer of the service. And you can do this. You are equipped. You've got to stay tapped in to your mission, your why, who you're becoming. And then there's simple things that we do in marketing, with simple things we do in messaging. And we think about, how can I help them? How can I help them today? How can I help them get connected with me? How can I make sure people know about me? This is the number one question you're asking every single day. And then in your sales conversations, you just have to be very clear. What are they getting? What's the transformation? Why? Why should they do this? Why should they do it now? Why should they do it now? Take it out of their savings instead of waiting. Once you get really good at this, people will be coming to you. They will continue to invest in you. It's because they're investing in themselves. It's because they want the transformation of what you have to offer. So these are the things that are going to take you through 2025. All right? I told you I was going to be very direct with you. If you want a sustainable business, you got to think 10 years out. You got to focus on who you're becoming. You got to focus on your messaging, your sales, and your marketing. That is it. You are on your own hero's journey. So as you're tapping into this, let me know in the comments if this resonated with you. Let me know what you're going to do today for your sales or your marketing or your mission, because do not just listen to this and then do nothing. Do not be like, that was so great, Cami. I'm so inspired. You've got to go out there and get in front of people and let them know what you have to offer. That's the only way you're going to keep the economics running. Okay, so get creative, pivot, think about things that you can do differently, think about ways to connect with people, offering them value. That's all we're doing every single day. Every single day, we get knocked down, we get back up again, we do it again because we have a strong why. And we're in it for the long term, we're in it for the 10-year vision. All right. And when you do this, your momentum will build because all of this marketing is built around this hero energy, this energy of like, I got you. Let's go. Whatever your problem is, I can help you with it. And when you're coming from that place, people will trust you and they invest in people that they trust. They need to know that you can help them. All right. So that is all for the training today. I knew I was going to be fired up for this. And to wrap us up today, I want to give you an invitation to continue this work together. So, everything I talked about here, this is the type of coaching that I deliver inside of my 8-week mini mastermind. It's called the Abundant Business Mini Mastermind. It starts on May 15th. This is 8 weeks of high level coaching and support plus spiritual practices, right? I do not think that we're running businesses independent of God universe. I think that we are put here with a purpose, with a gift, with a skill, and then we're here to make this world a better place. So inside this program, you're going to master your messaging, showing up consistently, and selling with confidence. We start on May 18th. It's a series of 8 calls. Each of those calls is laser focused on your messaging, on getting really clear on your marketing, like what's the actual marketing going to do. Anytime you're getting stuck in what to say, I will help you with that. And because it's in a group of women, we meet on Zoom calls every single week for 8 weeks. Because it's in a small group of women, you will also feel supported. You won't feel so alone. You'll get the courage to say it in a safe space, to practice it in a safe space. And you'll also get that mirroring back to you where somebody is telling you, wow, you're amazing. Like, wow, I love that. And when that happens, you start to be like, oh, like, I think I do have a skill that's marketable. I think I can really help people. So here's the thing. If you're watching this right now, it's April 24th. I have a special offer for you. I am taking applications for Abundant Business Mini Mastermind through April 26th. You can get a bonus coaching call with me. So a one-on-one call, 1 hour. Normally, these are upwards of $250. So you get this bonus coaching call when you apply and get accepted before Saturday, April 26th at 9 p.m. I'm going to drop the link in this video. It's either going to be above or below this video, depending on where you're watching it. The application is very quick. It really only takes about 5 minutes. I ask you why you're signing up, what you're looking to get out of it, what you need help working on. I'm going to ask you some revenue questions. And then I'm going to ask you how you want to get started because I'm curating a group of women who are supportive. They're driven, like they're committed. They're saying, I know that I have some imposter syndrome. I know that I have some perfectionism tendencies. I really know I need help with my marketing. And we will all be working on this together within the mastermind. We start off with your CEO, your self-identity, building this self-concept as a CEO, a leader, a hero, someone who is committed. And we tap into spiritual practices to help you connect to the future you. I've made 6 figures in my business. I always knew I would, but I had to develop that self-concept early on. So that's what we need to develop for you, of somebody who's making consistent money, who's selling consistently, who's marketing consistently. Then we move into connecting with your clients, right? You need to learn how to build the know, like, and trust factor. You need to know how to speak to your clients very clearly in a conversational way if you're in person and in your content if you're in social media land. I'll also teach you some EFT tapping. This is emotional freedom technique I use with myself and my clients to get over this fear of being seen. We really want you to feel safe, to be seen, and to be heard because you are. You are inherently safe, but it just feels unsafe to your nervous system. So we can work through that with some practices that I'll teach you. Then we go into social media made easy. So in week 3, social media made easy is all about making your content creation simple. You don't need a huge calendar. You don't need like a bunch of equipment. I made 6 figures in my business with very simple things, very quick, very easy. I didn't have a content calendar. I just did it by being inspired, by thinking about my clients. And you can do that too. You are already an expert in your field. You already know how to help them. What I help you with is saying it. You need to be able to communicate. This is exactly how I help you. This is how much it costs. This is why you want to pay today. So I'll teach you the social media made easy. We will do a bonus breathwork session to release any of that fear of failure. And then we work on mastering your messaging, right? We need your core message, your unique perspective, what sets you apart from either other people in town or other people online. And we'll use a journaling practice to help to tap into that clarity. Then we move on to your organic marketing, right? Organic marketing is anything that is free. If it's free, it's for me. I teach people if you're under 100K, we want to go for free things like live video, content, writing, collaborations, partnerships, and we do it based on your personality. So you don't need to be like me. You can be an introvert and we'll still find something that'll work for you. Then we move into sales psychology. It's important, right? Clients make decisions subconsciously. So I will teach you exactly how to have sales conversations, remain neutral, remain in integrity, so you don't feel like a sleazy salesperson. And I'll teach you my panic to purpose process for when you're stressed about money. I will teach you how to calm yourself down so that you can serve other people. And then I'll teach you how to overcome objections, right? So people say, I can't afford it. I need to think about it. I'll teach you exactly what to do and say there. And then week 8, we will celebrate. We will celebrate your progress and you'll set up your 90-day plan. Like, what am I going to do for the next 90 days? So remember, this mastermind is for you. I'm inviting you to join now. The way that you will join is by submitting your application. If you're watching this live video right now and you cannot find the link, send me a direct message on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, and I will send you the application link. This is for you if you're ready to get out of perfectionism. You want to trust your voice. You want to know that you have value in the marketplace and you want to get paid for your purpose. And we do it in an aligned way with integrity, with your intuition, and with strategy. So head to the link right now, submit your application. If you submit it before April 26, 2025, you will get a bonus one-on-one coaching call. On that call, we can go through your messaging. We can go through your social media. I can audit it for you. We can talk about any of these like sticky fears of being seen and being visible. And I will help you break through all of that. This is going to be such a brilliant container of amazing women who are committed, who are supportive, who want to help the world, who want to help the economy, who want to help their clients, and who want to get paid for it. Yes, you are allowed to get paid. All right. So I will talk to you soon. I've got to hop off, but let me know if you found this training valuable, and I will see you inside the application. Bye for now.